game in the most recent mini box in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and it is absolutely fantastic for the Synchron deck. The Synchron deck is, technically speaking, it's the same as it always was, but the competitive viability of it has been pushed to an incredibly higher extreme due to a higher versatility of a turn 1, 2, and turn 2 play. Turn 1 being able to either negate an opponent's monster or float into an interruption, or, by the way, negate a summon, not an effect, or turn 2, attack 3 or more times with a big chunky beat stick that negates damage. Negates attacks, my bad, and also destruction. But yeah, if you're unaware of how this deck works, essentially we rely heavily on the Shooting Star Road skill. At the beginning of the duel, place a junk converter to your grave. That's this guy. Essentially, when he's used as Synchron material, you get to revive a tuner from your grave. Of any level, any archetype. So if you wanted to deck build with this, you know, if you find you have a way to get a tuner in the grave, maybe this could resummon it. But essentially, what is good about that is it essentially gives us a level 2 we can immediately summon with Junk Synchron. The downside of Junk Synchron is you already have to have grave set up. Otherwise, it's just a normal summon level 3 tuner. But if you have a level 2 engrave, it resummons it, negates its effects, then you get to synchro summon a level 5 monster. So the combo is normal summon Junk Synchron, revive Junk Converter, Converter will then resummon Junk Synchron, and now you can make level 8. So, Stardust Dragon, you know what I mean, level 8. And then what's good about the skill after you summon Stardust Dragon is you get to activate it to place from outside your deck Formula Synchron onto your side of the field, attack or defense, doesn't matter, which has the quick effect. During your opponent's main phase, you can synchro summon using this card and other cards you control. So you have that level 2 plus your level 8. So what we used to do previously is we would, you know, wait till the opponent's turn happened, then when they tried to remove our monster, we would quick synchro into this guy so that we waste one of their removal cards. Which was cool. It was definitely nice. It was, however, it was like essentially all we did that for was to guarantee our survival. Now we only need to summon Shooting Star Dragon if we're aiming to attack for game. Now, what we would do is instead of waiting for the opponent's turn, we just immediately summon Stardust Warrior because it immediately has interruption. So what this guy actually does is during either player's turn, if your opponent would special summon a monster or monsters, you contribute this card like Stardust to negate the summon, and if you do, destroy that monsters. So that effect, by the way, will not negate like a fusion summon or a summon that requires an effect to happen. It doesn't negate effects, it just negates summon. So I could negate an Exceed summon, a Synchro summon, something like a special summon from the hand. Yeah, as long as it, you know, isn't an effect activating, then I can negate it with this. And then during the end phase, if I use that effect, I can resummon it just like you would Stardust if Stardust negated destruction. And also if it's destroyed by battle, or your opponent removes it by card effect, except returning it to the extra deck, while it was face up, you get to special summon from the extra deck a warrior synchro monster from your extra deck, and it is counted as a synchro summon. So what we're going to do most of the time is we're going to summon this one, and since this one says if this card is synchro summoned, you can target a card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So if our big boss monster, if our opponent kills it, we still get to bounce one of their cards and have a level 5 body on the field for next turn. Oftentimes, our opening field is going to include this if we're going first. Sometimes, however, we're going to have a little bit of an awkward hand. Sometimes our opponent's going to have a field. So we might just go into Cyber / Harpy Lady instead of Stardust turn 1. Or turn 2, depending on the game state. Having that available is a very nice option to have just to like help you in the long game. But if we just so happen to to open this card, Necroid Synchro. We cannot search for it, so we play 3. But if we happen to open it, we get to make, in my opinion, what might be one of the most difficult fields in Duel Links in the moment. So we could use our Junk Synchron combo, you know, summon this guy, use Converter to resummon, and then make a level 8 Cyber / Harpy Lady. And then we can use this to banish materials from our grave as if it were a Synchro summon. It isn't counted as a Synchro summon, but banish our Synchro materials from the grave to perform a Synchro summon. It isn't counted as a Synchro summon for a Stardust in our extra deck. So we could use that to summon Stardust Dragon, then use the skill to put Formula Synchron on the field, and then turn them into this one if we're going first or this one going second. And since we are activating a spell, if we are going second, we could trigger the Harpy Lady to bounce our opponent's monster. So, you know, having a Cyber / Harpy Lady with potential back row behind it, and a summon negate, or a destruction negate, or an OTK, or a float into a bounce, that is very difficult to deal with, especially when we have Book of Moon or Forbidden Lance to like protect us or keep us alive or stop the opponent from doing what they're doing. So yeah, play 3 Necroid Synchro because you can't search for it and you want it. You always... it can break. I'm not going to lie to you that it can break, but you don't build your deck with a very powerful unsearchable card in it at 1 because it might brick you. Let's be honest. It's like 1% chance that you're going to open more than one of this card anyway. You're building your deck for a 1% chance? No, I don't think so. If for some reason, you know, our boss monster gets killed and Jet Warrior gets killed, we actually have a way to get it back. We can use Jet Synchron to get it back, or Junk Converter to get it back. In our following turn, if we don't have a decent normal summon, we could normal summon one of those two, or if we have this in grave, we can special summon it from grave by discarding a card, and then use this one's grave effect to like tribute a level 2 or lower monster you control to special summon it, just to have a level 5 body. Having that level 5 body with a 21 attack is pretty relevant, and it is also kind of one of the only reasons we choose specifically Jet Synchron, just because it is versatile to be able to summon it from the grave to protect yourself and to resummon Jet. We cannot use this otherwise for other Synchro summons, just because our extra deck is so incredibly tight. The skill restricts us in the main deck to have a certain amount of archetypal monsters in the main and a certain amount of archetypal monsters in the extra deck. So I can't play any less of what I am playing. Like, ideally, in a perfect world, potentially I could just play 3 Junk Synchron, 3 Tuning, 3 Junk Converter, and I don't know, maybe some other tuner. But I do need to have, you know, a certain amount of Junks and Synchrons in my deck. So I picked Jet because it's like that. Previously, I've used it to summon Brianek, but we can't do that because of extra deck space now. You know, we got Book of Moon. It's kind of important in this format. Most decks are interruptible by this. It is like Duel Links' version of Ash Blossom. And then Forbidden Lance is like Duel Links' version of Crossout Designator, because it will negate important back row like Book of Moon and other things. The reason, however, that I picked Forbidden Lance is because there have been a decent amount of people I'm facing against that are playing a lot of back row because there's a lot of synchroing and exceasing and fusion. There's a lot going on. So I think having MST to get rid of one back row is too optimistic. I need my monster to go through, or otherwise my combo is stopped in this format. So I'm playing 3 Lance. But yeah, let's just get into the game, shall we? So here we are going against 6 Samurai. They have a pretty good opening hand. They have the Pot of Greed. They seem to have the combo. You know, they're special summoning. You know, they got more Pots of Greed. You know, they're gonna summon their Shein. They're gonna set a back row, and then end it to us. This was one of the games before I put Lance in, so I used MST. But if I had Lance, I don't think it would have made a difference in this particular situation. But yeah, Junk Synchron, Revive Converter, Synchro level 5, Converter will re-summon the Junk Synchron. Go ahead and make Stardust Dragon using the skill. And the second part of the skill, by the way, you can say no to this, and you should if you're going first. You can put 3 bad tuners on top of your deck, so that when you summon your Shooting Star Dragon, you know, you will get 3 guaranteed attacks. So that's what we're going to do here. Activate, reveal 1, reveal 2, reveal 3, and then we're just going to reveal 2 spells, but it's okay because we do have lethal regardless. That's because of how big we are. That's just how good going second with this 1-card combo deck is. Here we're going second against Galaxy Eyes. They seem to have the full combo, using Shuffle Reborn to revive the Galaxy Eyes, using Expedition to summon another one from deck, Exceed summon into their Monster Negate, and set a couple back row. This would have been a situation that I would have loved to have Lance, but I did have MST, and it was helpful. But I use Book first, just in case. They happen to have like a Lance or something. I don't know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter which one I use first, but you know, go into the combo, summon Junk Warrior, Converter is going to re-summon Junk Synchron, and we're going to summon Cyber/Harpy Lady for the ultimate going second play. Here we're going to activate Necroid Synchro, chain our Cyber/Harpy Lady to bounce his monster, summon Stardust Dragon, activate the skill, put 3 tuners on top, and he scoops because he knows what the deck does. Here we are going against Blue Eyes. They are playing Maiden, but you know, let's not hold that to them too much. We have the combo. We're just gonna. However, you know, that said, we don't have any back row. The only thing we're gonna put up is our archetypal boss monster, and we're just gonna show how that is pretty much enough against a deck like, at least like against like a deck like this. But it is very good against other decks as well. Stardust Dragon, gonna activate the skill, saying no to putting the tuners on top, remember. Summon Stardust Warrior, which can negate a summon and float into a jet. He just summons Maiden, puts down 2 back row. We're gonna use tuning, search for our follow-up play. You know, gonna use our Junk Synchron, revive Converter, Synchro 5. Gonna revive our Junk Synchron. Summoning Cyber/Harpy Lady, then we're going to activate tuning. We don't need to search, we just need to, you know, bait his Maiden. He's going to summon a Blue Eyes from deck. And our plan now is to use our Stardust Warrior to crash into Blue Eyes to get our floating effect. But he uses Dimensional Prison, but that's okay because it floats off of Banishment anyway. Jet Warrior is going to bounce the Blue Eyes, and then I'm going to attack the game. We are going against some like Phantom Knight Blackwing deck, and I don't know necessarily what the synergy is. I might have to look into it, but that's what they're playing, and we're going first. We have the combo and some back row, so we're just going to go into our boss monster, Stardust Warrior, so we can negate a special summon. At first, I think because he's playing Yudo that he's playing pure Phantom Knights, so I'm just trying to, you know, negate his special summon, preventing him from going into his plays. He sets his back row, he special summons a monster, and I negate it. He is going to be able to go in for 1000 damage, but I'll resummon my Stardust Warrior. I happen to top deck Junk Synchron. I'll go into my follow-up combo. If I cannot kill him this turn, the fact that I have a summon negate and will now have Cyber/Harpy Lady, it is pretty much going to be nigh impossible in this simplified game state for him to be able to follow up. And he just happens to be playing the Phantom Knight traps that like summon themselves. He's drawing 2 cards, I attack directly. So he might have a follow-up, and it might not be simplified game state considering he now has access to 6 cards. But let's see if he can pull it off. and he's playing Black Wings. He decides to Gale, targeting this guy, despite the fact that this guy's the one who tributes himself to negate a summon. He sees the writing on the wall, and he just attacks me for game. But yeah, I'm going second against a Cyber Dragon deck. They get a pretty good hand, I feel. They're going to be able to core search for their interruption. Then they have special summoning, Nexter and Cyber Dragon. They're going to be able to Xyz summon after using their skill to make themselves level 5. Now they have Nova, and they can set 2 back row. So I'm going to tuning search for my Junk Synchron. You know, go into my combo. I happen to have the 2 Lance, pretty nice. So he's going to try to chain, beat the Lance, but I have the other Lance to stop it. If I had MST, it might have been better, but 2 Lance is just as good as 2 MST in this situation. I'm essentially going to go for the OTK play here because he has nothing left, and he knows what I'm doing. He knows what Synchrons do, so he scoops. I'm going first against TG's Tech Genus, another great Synchro deck you guys should check out on this channel. Gonna use Junk Synchron going first to go into Junk Warrior. Our hand is admittedly pretty bad because we opened both of our bricks, Jet Synchron. But we're gonna go into Stardust Dragon, use the skill, summon Formula Synchron, go into our boss monster. We know our opponent is on a Synchro deck, and this card is especially good against Synchron Xyz decks. He's going to use Tanky. He's going to use his Book of Moon, turning off our interruption, but thankfully we have our own Book of Moon to play. He's going to be playing the Scrub TG combo. He's trying to Query on me, turn 1. Query on is the best follow-up play that wins you the game immediately. Turn 1, you should not be trying to do this. But here we go, we got a Book of Moon, his tuner. That book would have stopped him either way, regardless of what version he was playing. Gonna kill his Synchro so he can't pop off. Gonna Synchro summon again. This time, we're gonna negate it. And he has a follow-up, but it's not much of a follow-up. All he can do right now is make a level 7 Synchro, but he knows that my Synchro is going to come back anyway, so he scoops. Another Blue Eyes player, and they aren't playing the right Seto, but maybe he wants his Blue Eyes to be big for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, I have the combo, going to use Junk Synchron, going to summon my Junk Warrior, use Converter to resummon Junk Synchron. Gonna use those 2 to summon Cyber/Harpy Lady because we happen to have the Necroid Synchro, which is gonna go ahead and summon our Stardust Dragon. And we're gonna use our skill summon formula, go into Stardust Warrior, set a back row, and pass. This board is not unbreakable, but it is pretty much unbreakable because what is he gonna do? Okay, so he gets rid of our back row, turning off essentially our Harpy Lady. But he hasn't broken us. All I need to do is use tuning to get rid of his monster, and I can attack the game, but I still have to play through that back row. So I'm going to attack first with Harpy Lady, so I can bait out something like that, and then I'm going to attack with this, keeping this. If he had gotten rid of this, then I would have been in a worse position. But he summons this, kills my guy, so I can summon Jet Warrior and bounce his guy. But yeah, the Jet Warrior, it just feels so satisfying to pull off. And it happens more often than you might think. The Junk Warrior, Converter's gonna resummon our guy. Since he happened to bounce our Cyber/Harpy Lady, would he go into it again? He's gonna Floodgate, and we're gonna Forbidden Lance and survive. And then we're gonna be able to attack for game because he's got nothing left, so he scoops. A Witchcraft player who has no cards in their extra deck. They don't necessarily need their extra deck, but if you play a deck that has no cards in their extra deck, I recommend putting cards in your extra deck anyway, so the opponent doesn't know that you don't need it. But they're going to go for the combo, make sure they have a spell in hand instead of back row. They can blanket negate my field once per turn. I'm going to use Junk Synchron. They don't negate it because I think they think that I might have a follow-up. And he needs that one spell in his hand. I'm going to go into Cyber / Harpy Lady, use Necroid Synchro Chain, Cyber /. He has to negate this, but he goes for Trap Tricks, Trap Hole. I will Forbidden Lance, and then he will use his Bear to negate my slash. Channeling 5 and Duel Links, not bad. I'm going to summon my Stardust Dragon. I feel like he might have a spell in his hand, so because he might have a spell in his hand, I go for Stardust Warrior. If he doesn't have a spell in his hand, I'm safe because I can negate a summon, even if that's not that great against this deck. But if he, if he does have a spell in his hand, and me going for the OTK play is too ballsy. He can boost himself by 1,000, and I essentially lose the game because he keeps his Bear. So I'm going for the safe play here. I attack. He has no spells in hand, so that's important for me to know. He top decks his Unveiling special summons from hand. On end phase, he's going to use a spell effect Engrave to add back to hand, but thankfully, Slash will bounce back his Bear, and because he has no spells in hand, he can't negate it. And then he scoops because he has nothing left. So I happen to think that this Synchron deck is very competitive, perhaps more competitive than any other Synchron decks you've ever seen. I feel pretty confident saying that, but you can play the deck yourself and let me know how you feel about it. If you have any, replays, you can, let me know and maybe we can post it as a short. But, Stardust Warrior, very competitive card in my opinion. Negating a summon, very nice, especially when you can back it up with either back row or Cyber / Harpy Lady to have multiple interruptions. But this deck is not the only deck that could summon Stardust Warrior. TGs might be able to summon it, considering that they could previously also summon Chronicle. But I think that this might be, maybe, the best deck for the job, because they can also use Necroid Synchro as an extender and as a follow-up. But yeah, let me know how you feel about this deck in the comments. If you like the video, like the video. If you're new around here, please subscribe. And if you did not like the video,